Beloved chosen one, heaven has pressed pause around you. Everything seems to stand still, not because you are lost, but because heaven itself is waiting for your answer. You have felt it for weeks now, haven't you? That quiet pressure in your chest, that unshakable knowing that something sacred is calling your name. You keep brushing it off, blaming timing or fear. But deep inside, your spirit trembles because you know this is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. Right now, angels lean close to the edge of eternity, whispering your name. They are not watching for another. They are watching you. There are moments when heaven literally pauses history. And this breath, this heartbeat is one of those moments. Everything around you, every delay and confusion, has been leading you here. God is not asking for perfection. He is asking for obedience. You have carried so much, haven't you? The weight of rejection, the sting of misunderstanding, the endless question of why me. You've been set apart since birth, and because of that, you've never fully fit in. You've been the one others couldn't quite understand, the one who sees too deeply, feels too strongly, loves too fiercely. That is because you are marked by purpose, marked by fire. The pain you've walked through wasn't random, it was preparation. Heaven never wastes a tear from a chosen vessel. Every time your heart broke, God was shaping capacity within you. Every night you asked, Lord, what are you doing? He was answering through silence, strengthening your soul for this exact moment. Listen closely. Two paths stand before you. One is comfort, the familiar, predictable road where you keep control. The other is obedience, the road that requires surrender, the path that feels terrifying yet right. The moment you choose obedience, heaven moves. The instant your yes leaves your lips, something in eternity unlocks. Doors swing open that no man can shut. But many hesitate at this threshold. They tell themselves they'll obey when the time is right, not realizing that delay itself is disobedience in disguise. Each day you postpone your yes. Heaven must hold back blessings meant for now. The enemy's greatest weapon isn't always sin, it's distraction. The whisper that says, later. No, chosen one, not later, now. It is not arrogance to say heaven waits for you, it's truth. Because heaven partners with obedience. You are not insignificant. Your yes carries weight in realms you cannot see. Your surrender will ripple through generations, setting captives free who may never know your name but will live because of your obedience today. The Word of God declares in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 19, This day I call the heavens and the earth as witnesses against you, that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curses. Now choose life, so that you and your children may live. You see, the choice is sacred. God does not force it, He invites it. The Spirit stands before you like a patient lover, waiting, hoping, longing for your answer. Will you keep running? Will you keep doubting your worth? Or will you finally stop, lift your eyes, and whisper the word that heaven aches to hear? Yes. When you say it, truly say it, the atmosphere changes. Fear loses power. Confusion melts away. Heaven aligns resources, people, and miracles in motion. You won't have to chase opportunity. It will chase you. because the yes of a chosen one shifts the balance of spiritual power. It invites divine order into chaos. Heaven's clock is ticking, but not against you, for you. Every second is mercy extended, waiting for your agreement. Do not let this be another day of almost. This is not random. This is divine orchestration. Heaven has chosen this exact second to speak to you. You are not too broken. You are not too late. Heaven still wants your voice, your hands, your heart. God still believes in the person He created when He breathed life into you. And He is saying, "Child, say yes. Don't delay. You've been asking for a sign. This is it." Your obedience is not only about you, it's about the countless lives connected to your destiny. You are a thread in heaven's tapestry. And when you move, others move too. So today, lift your head, speak it out loud, whisper it through trembling lips if you must, but say it. Heaven is waiting, and time itself leans toward your voice. Now, beloved chosen one, before you leave this sacred space, like this message, if it stirred your spirit, share it so another wandering soul may find their yes. And subscribe so divine messages keep flowing to you. Then go to the comments and type 777, the number of divine completion, as a prophetic declaration that your yes is sealed in heaven today. And, as you do, feel heaven respond. The atmosphere shifts, unseen chains break. The moment your fingers move in faith, angels record it. This is not just a comment, it's a covenant, a signature of surrender. Heaven smiles, and destiny begins to move toward you. You were never ordinary. Chosen one. Even before you understood words, the spirit realm recognized your presence. You were born under the sound of divine assignment. And though you may have tried to blend in, heaven has never allowed you to disappear. Every environment that rejected you was actually protecting you from dilution. God never wanted you comfortable in places that could not contain your calling. You have always sensed it, that silent difference within you. It made you feel distant even in crowded rooms. Unseen, though surrounded by people, you carried questions in your heart that no one around you could answer, because they were not designed to understand your language. The frequency of heaven is rare, and only those marked by purpose can hear it. This is why your life has felt like warfare since the beginning. From childhood, storms surrounded you. You faced jealousy, misunderstanding, and seasons of painful isolation. Yet each of these moments was a clue of your spiritual DNA. Ordinary people do not face extraordinary battles. The darkness knew who you were long before you did. You have been walking with invisible weight, carrying burdens that others never saw. But that weight was proof of your difference. You were not made to live safely. You were made to walk bravely. Every scar on your soul is a testimony of your endurance, not your defeat. The fire that tried to destroy you was the same fire that revealed what could not be burned. Chosen one. You must understand this. You were crafted in heaven's workshop. Every detail of your being carries evidence of divine design. Your voice was shaped to shift atmospheres. Your compassion to heal the broken. Your insight to see beyond the surface. You are not here by coincidence. You are a deliberate thought of God manifested in time. The word of the Lord reminds us through the prophet Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Those words are not ancient history, they are your biography. God knew exactly what He was creating when He sent you into this generation. You were never a backup plan or an afterthought. You were placed on earth as heaven's response to a specific problem. There is a divine need in this world that only your obedience can fulfill. That's why the warfare against your identity has been so fierce. The enemy does not attack what has no value. He targets the ones carrying holy potential. If you've wondered why confusion tried to cover your life, it's because the adversary feared what would happen once you discovered who you are. He tried to make you believe you were too broken, too flawed, too ordinary. But heaven laughs at those lies. For every limitation you see, God sees a hidden strength waiting to awaken. The loneliness you feel is not punishment, it is invitation. It is heaven's way of drawing you closer, separating you from noise so you can hear the still, small voice of destiny. You are being refined in silence, trained in secret, so that when God unveils you, no one will doubt the anointing you carry. Stop calling yourself unqualified. Stop comparing your pace to others. You are not late, you are being aligned. Heaven's clock runs by purpose, not popularity. Every hidden season is divine construction. Every delay is preparation. The things that didn't work out were never meant to hold you, only to shape you. The world may not see you yet, but heaven already celebrates you. Angels whisper about your courage, about how you keep getting up even when you want to quit. That resilience is proof of the Spirit living within you. You think you are barely surviving, but in truth, you are becoming unstoppable. Chosen one, you were built for impact. There is light in you that terrifies darkness. The way you love, the way you endure, the way you still hope after everything that is power. Do not mistake humility for hiding. You are meant to stand tall, not in pride, but in purpose. Soon, the very people who overlooked you will witness the evidence of divine favor. They will see why you couldn't settle, why you couldn't fit the mold. They will realize that while they were chasing recognition, you were being refined for revelation. So, lift your head, even in the middle of uncertainty. You are not forgotten. Heaven has you exactly where transformation happens between obscurity and revelation. And when the appointed time arrives, your difference will no longer isolate you, it will elevate you. And when that unveiling comes, it won't be small. The same places that once silenced you will echo with your testimony. Heaven will turn your hidden years into public proof that obedience was worth every tear. So, breathe. Chosen one, the waiting is not wasted. Every unseen moment is heaven's investment in your destiny. Soon, the world will meet what heaven has always known. You were never ordinary. You can feel it, can't you? Chosen one, the invisible war that surrounds your delay. Every time you think of surrender, distraction rises. Every time you try to move forward, fear whispers reasons to stay still. The warfare is not around your talent, your image, or your possessions. It is around your obedience. Because the enemy knows one surrendered, yes, can dismantle everything he's built against you. There is a reason peace feels distant when you hesitate. Heaven's assignments come with weight, and that weight cannot rest upon the undecided. The darkness feeds on indecision. It drains your focus, weakens your confidence, and makes you question what you already know. Every time you postpone, spiritual resistance grows stronger. But the good news is this: once you decide, the storm loses power. You've noticed it, how chaos increases when you draw close to breakthrough. That is not coincidence, it's confirmation. The battle always intensifies before the birthing. The adversary fights hardest right before obedience manifests. Because once you act, you shift dimensions. You become untouchable. As the Spirit spoke through the prophet Elijah in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21, "How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him, but if Baal is God, follow him." That same question echoes now through time, straight into your spirit. How long will you waver? How long will you let fear pretend to be wisdom? The longer you delay, the more ground darkness steals. Indecision is the slow erosion of destiny. Heaven has already written victory in your name, but it cannot manifest until you step forward. You've been praying for confirmation, but heaven is waiting for cooperation. The silence you feel is not rejection, it's expectation. God has already spoken, he's now waiting for your action. When you move, the Red Sea parts. When you step, walls fall. When you obey, heaven rushes to perform what was promised. You must understand this battle for what it truly is, a war over your alignment. The enemy knows he cannot destroy your calling, so he distracts your timing. He keeps you busy thinking, doubting, replaying. But heaven is calling you to act, not analyze. The more you think, the more fear multiplies. The more you move, the more faith grows. You've been standing between two voices. One says, "Stay safe." The other says, "Trust me." One sounds logical, the other carries fire. God's voice doesn't always make sense, but it always brings peace. The enemy offers comfort without growth. God offers growth through discomfort. And it's time. Chosen one, it's time to choose peace over paralysis, movement over meditation. You were created to bring disruption to darkness. Your obedience is not just a personal decision, it's a divine earthquake. When you finally surrender, strongholds crumble in others' lives too. Heaven designed your yes to set captives free. Every tear you've shed in hesitation has been seen. Every night you've wrestled in silence has been heard. Heaven counts even your sighs as prayers. But now, mercy calls your name again, softly, urgently. It's time. The moment you respond, angels are dispatched. The atmosphere clears, and clarity returns. Don't let fear define the next chapter. You've survived too much to stop here. God didn't preserve you through storms just to see you drowned in indecision. You are stronger than you think, more prepared than you believe, and closer than you realize. Look around, the signs are all here. The opportunities opening, the people appearing, the restlessness in your soul, all of it points to destiny knocking. Heaven is saying, move now. You're not waiting for a sign. The sign has been waiting for you. So here is what I need you to do. Comment, "I choose now." Type it not as empty words, but as a prophetic act. Let it be your declaration in the middle of this unseen war. When you write it, you silence the enemy's voice that says tomorrow. You tell heaven, "I will not delay." And as your fingers move in obedience, something shifts in the unseen. that small act becomes spiritual warfare. It is not about social media, it's about symbolism. Every time you declare truth publicly, it echoes in eternity. Heaven records the moment, and the battle begins to turn. Remember this, the enemy fears your movement because your obedience reveals his defeat. Every step you take toward purpose weakens his influence. Every yes you whisper pierces the darkness like a blade of light. So take courage. You are not losing, you are transitioning. This tension you feel is the stretching of wings preparing to fly. Heaven has already written your victory. You only need to agree with it. The moment you choose now, the war shifts in your favor. And when you do, peace will rush in like wind after a storm. The confusion will break. The delay will end. And you will finally stand where you were always meant to, on the side of destiny. Chosen and unshaken. The cry of heaven still echoes through eternity, carrying your name. Chosen one, there is a sound, pure and ancient, rising from the throne room, an ache of divine anticipation. Heaven has been whispering your name since before time began. Angels have rehearsed the moment of your surrender, waiting to release what was written in the scrolls concerning you. Every time you draw close, that sound grows louder. It is not pressure, it is invitation. You may not realize it, but heaven longs for your partnership. God could move without you, yet he chooses not to. He designed creation to function through the obedience of his chosen ones. Your voice, your willingness, your surrender, these are the tools heaven uses to release miracles into the earth. When you delay, heaven waits. When you act, heaven moves. It's not that God needs you because he is weak. He includes you because he is love. The same God who spoke galaxies into being desires to work through your hands. That is why the weight of indecision feels so heavy. It's the sound of heaven holding its breath, waiting for you to step into what was prepared long ago. Can you feel it? That quiet pull in your chest is not anxiety, it's eternity calling. Your spirit recognizes the frequency of your divine origin. Before your first breath, God appointed you for this hour. You are not an extra in history's story. You are a main character in heaven's unfolding plan. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms. Chapter 8, verse 4, "What is mankind that you are mindful of them? Human beings that you care for them." Even David, a man after God's heart, stood in awe of this truth. The Creator of all things still thinks about you. He remembers your frame, your tears, your dreams. The heavens may declare his glory, but you display his heart when you love, when you forgive, when you obey. You reveal a side of God that creation alone cannot. There are moments when heaven's cry feels distant, but it never truly stops. Even when you're distracted, even when you wander, it continues softly, persistently, like a melody behind the noise of life. That's why you sometimes wake up with a sudden stirring, a sense that you're meant for more. That's heaven tugging at your soul again, calling you back to the conversation you keep postponing. You were never designed to live disconnected from divine flow. Your spirit thrives only in alignment. That's why compromise feels like death. It suffocates the very air of your calling. Heaven's cry is not condemnation. It is the sound of home, beckoning you back. Listen, every chosen one reaches this crossroads, the moment where comfort collides with calling. Many hear the cry, but only a few respond. Those who answer become history makers, not because they are more gifted, but because they are more willing. Heaven doesn't search for perfection, it searches for surrender. This cry is not just for your blessing, it's for your becoming. Heaven is not calling you to perform, but to transform. The Father is saying, I want your heart. Not your stage, not your status, just your yes. Because through that yes, heaven can move mountains, restore nations, heal generations. If you could see the ripple effect of one act of obedience, you would never hesitate again. Angels move at your agreement. Demons flee at your surrender. The atmosphere literally shifts when you align with God's will. Sometimes you think you've missed your chance, that the cry you once felt has gone silent. But no, it hasn't. Heaven's patience is greater than your failure. The same voice that called you years ago is still calling, just as tenderly, just as powerfully. Mercy still waits. Grace still invites. Chosen one, do not mistake delay for denial. Heaven's cry is not fading, it's focusing. The pressure you feel right now is birth pangs of divine purpose. It is not punishment, it is preparation. You are being tuned, refined, made ready for release. And when you finally respond, heaven will roar in celebration. The cry that once called to you will then flow through you. You will become the echo of God's voice in the earth, the message embodied, the living answer to someone else's prayer. Every act of obedience amplifies that cry, spreading its resonance farther, deeper, louder. Soon, others will hear it through you. You will speak, and hearts will awaken. You will pray, and strongholds will break. You will walk, and the ground will remember the footsteps of the obedient. The cry of heaven is not just a sound, it's a summons. It's heaven saying, the time is now. The earth is ready. We are waiting for you. And when you answer, heaven will not whisper, it will thunder. Every delay will dissolve. Every chain will fall, and divine acceleration will begin. Your yes will harmonize with eternity's song. So listen, chosen one, don't silence that holy call again. It's not noise, it's purpose. Every beat of your heart is heaven, reminding you you were always meant to answer. Your wilderness was never a punishment. Chosen one, it was training. The barren seasons that made you question your worth were actually holy classrooms. Every silence, every setback, every unanswered prayer was part of heaven's curriculum. You thought you were being abandoned, but you were being anointed. The wilderness is not the absence of God, it is the proof of His attention. Do you remember those nights you cried without words? When you could only exhale pain, heaven heard those sighs as songs of surrender. Every tear watered the soil of the promise you carry. Nothing was wasted, not the loneliness, not the rejection, not the disappointment. All of it was shaping something unshakable inside you. You see, God trains His warriors in obscurity. The spotlight blinds too soon. The secret place builds strength. You were hidden because you were holy ground. If you had been revealed before your roots were ready, the weight of destiny might have crushed you. But now, after everything you've endured, you are anchored. You no longer chase validation, you crave vision. The Word of God reveals through the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 31, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary." They will walk and not faint. Those words are the anthem of the wilderness. You are not losing strength, you are trading it for divine endurance. The waiting has taught you stillness, and stillness is power disguised as patience. You now move with wisdom that cannot be taught, only lived. The wilderness stripped away illusions. It showed you who was real, what mattered, and where peace truly lives. It forced you to find God not in the noise of blessings, but in the silence of becoming. You have learned to survive on whispers instead of applause. That is why you are dangerous to darkness. Now you know how to find God without a crowd. You thought nothing was happening, but heaven was working underground, like roots beneath the soil. Your faith was spreading deeper, wider, stronger. Every time you felt forgotten, God was fortifying your foundation. That is why you didn't break when others did. You were being built, not buried. Chosen one. The wilderness is the birthplace of warriors. Moses met God in the desert. David learned to worship among sheep and stones. Jesus faced temptation in solitude before he began his ministry. The pattern is ancient, but the purpose is eternal transformation. Heaven always refines before it reveals. Now the wind is shifting. The silence that once scared you will soon feel sacred. You'll begin to see why things had to take the time they did. Every delay was divine choreography. You were never behind. You were being prepared for a rhythm only heaven could write. Your scars have become secret signatures, evidence that you have walked through fire and lived to tell it. When you speak now, people will feel truth, not theory. You have authority born from survival. That is why the next season will not demand striving but flowing. And when the time comes to step forward, it won't feel like a command, it will feel like breathing. Because the wilderness has aligned your heartbeat with heaven's. You will no longer force purpose, you will follow it naturally, like rivers flowing back to the sea. So now, as you stand on the edge of breakthrough, don't despise where you've been. Look back with gratitude. The very desert you cursed became the garden of your becoming. The pain that tried to bury you planted purpose instead. If you feel something stirring as you read these words, it's heaven smiling through memory, reminding you that every lonely step led you here. And here, you are stronger. Here, you are ready. And if your heart finds a quiet joy rising, let it guide you. Whisper your thank you to heaven in whatever way feels right. Some build altars with words, others with silence. Some lift their hands, others lift their hearts. However you express it, let your gratitude become a song. If you feel compelled to leave a trace of that gratitude, do it. Press the small heart below as a symbol of your agreement with heaven's training. Share this message only if your spirit stirs to do so, as one who passes living water to another wanderer in the desert. And if this space has become a refuge for your soul, subscribe as one planting roots beside a flowing stream, choosing to stay where the water of revelation runs clear. Because when you choose to respond with love, to like, to share, to subscribe, heaven feels it. Each act of resonance, each quiet acknowledgement, is a ripple that reaches eternity. You have survived the wilderness, chosen one. Now rise gently, breathe deeply, and step forward, not as one who escaped, but as one who emerged refined. And as you walk out of that wilderness, the air will taste different, sweeter, freer, alive. Heaven will whisper, "Well done," and the earth itself will recognize your footsteps, reborn in purpose. Mercy is still knocking. Chosen one, you can almost hear it, the soft rhythm against the door of your heart. It doesn't come with thunder or command. It comes quietly, patiently, as if heaven itself refuses to give up on you. You are not running out of time. Time is running out of excuses. Mercy has lingered at your doorstep, waiting for your response. You felt that gentle pull, haven't you? The sense that something in your life cannot remain the same. It is not anxiety, it is divine urgency. The Spirit of God is whispering, "Come closer while the door is still open." You may think you have more time, but mercy has a window. Every window eventually closes. Yet even now, grace reaches out its hand. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 33, verse 19, "I will have mercy on whom I will have mercy, and I will have compassion on whom I will have compassion." Mercy is not something you earn, it is something you accept. God is not asking for perfection, He is asking for your return. He knows every scar, every failure, every secret tear. Still, He calls you by your name, not by your mistakes. He is not ashamed to love you. He delights in it. There is a moment, a sacred moment, when mercy and judgment meet, when heaven waits for your yes. That moment is now. You have been feeling it in your spirit. The tension between surrender and resistance. The battle is not between good and evil out there, it is the war between later and now within you. Heaven's mercy is wide, but it is not endless in opportunity. Not because God's love runs dry, but because time does. You cannot live in delay and still expect peace. Mercy offers you a doorway, rebellion builds a wall. And right now, mercy stands before you, holding the key to freedom you've prayed for, but feared to receive. Chosen one, the reason you still feel conviction is proof that heaven has not let you go. Conviction is not punishment, it's protection. It is heaven saying, "I love you too much to let you destroy yourself." The silence you sometimes mistake for distance is actually space for decision. God steps back, not to abandon, but to allow choice. Because love without choice is not love at all. You are standing in the pause of mercy, a divine heartbeat between what was and what can still be. Do not waste it. This is not coincidence, this is divine timing. The door is still open, but not forever. Think of all the moments you survived when you shouldn't have. Every accident that missed you. Every betrayal that didn't break you, mercy was there. The same mercy that shielded you is now inviting you to walk through the next threshold willingly. Don't make mercy chase you when it longs to walk beside you. Heaven is not angry. Heaven is waiting. The Father is not shouting, He's whispering, "Come home." The weight you feel pressing on your chest isn't guilt, it's glory calling you to alignment. You are not being condemned, you are being awakened. Listen carefully. There comes a point where delay becomes danger, not because God stops loving you, but because your heart grows numb to the sound of His voice. The longer you resist, the quieter conviction becomes. Do not let the gift of sensitivity fade away. Mercy knocks loudest before silence falls. You still have time. You still have breath. You still have purpose. But heaven is asking for one thing: agreement. Say yes. Whisper it if you must. But say it, because when you do, the sound of mercy turns into music, and angels rejoice that another one has answered. And when you do, chosen one. Seal that moment in faith. Comment 1111. Let it not just be a number, but a prophetic echo, a symbol of open gates, of new beginnings, of divine alignment. When you type it, do it with reverence, knowing that heaven hears the movement of your heart behind every letter. This isn't about an algorithm or attention, it's about intention. That small act declares, I hear mercy, and I am answering. It's not about public display, it's about private surrender revealed in a simple sign. So take a breath, feel the knock once more, then open the door wide. Not in fear, but in gratitude. Mercy has found you again, and this time, don't let it walk away. When you write that number, 1111, do it with understanding. It is not superstition, it is symbolism. 4 ones standing together represent divine order. Heaven and earth in perfect alignment. Doors opening in every direction. It is your spirit's signature saying, I agree with heaven. Let each one remind you of something sacred, one God who called you, one destiny waiting, one moment to decide, and one eternal love that never gives up. It is your whispered yes, written in the language of heaven. Type it slowly, intentionally, as a covenant 1111, and let mercy know you answered while the door was still open. There comes a moment, chosen one, when destiny begins to feel dangerous. The air changes, the pressure rises, and everything that once felt certain begins to tremble. It is not because you are going the wrong way, it is because you are getting close. Every divine breakthrough carries the tremor of warfare before it manifests. You have felt it lately, that uneasiness in your spirit. The sudden wave of fear that arrives just as you start to move forward. Do not mistake it for warning, it is resistance. Darkness recognizes your acceleration and tries to confuse your discernment. Fear often disguises itself as wisdom, whispering, slow down, you're not ready. This might not be God, but deep within, your spirit knows otherwise. Heaven's timing is never as comfortable as the world's, as declared in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 1, verse 7, For God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of power, and of love, and of a sound mind. You see, the presence of fear is not proof that you should stop. It's proof that something holy is about to start. Fear only attacks what carries fire. When you feel the trembling, remember, courage is not the absence of fear, it's the decision to keep walking through it. The path of destiny will always feel dangerous because it demands faith. You cannot walk it by sight. God leads his chosen ones through unfamiliar territory to teach them dependence. When everything seems unstable, it's not that the ground is breaking, it's that the old foundation is being replaced by a divine one. Every chosen soul must pass through the narrow gate of uncertainty. Abraham left his homeland with no map. Esther risked her life to step before the king. Peter stepped out of a boat onto water that shouldn't hold him. They all faced fear, yet their obedience became the birthplace of miracles. You, too, are standing in that space between the known and the promised. The bridge you are walking across may shake, but it will not break. God has engineered it to carry your weight. You are not falling, you are being stretched. And stretching is the language of growth. Sometimes, destiny feels dangerous because it demands the death of comfort. You can't carry everything from the old season into the new one. God will ask you to lay things down, not to punish you, but to lighten your load. The higher the calling, the lighter the baggage. Some connections will fade, some opportunities will close, and some dreams will be replaced by better ones. That is not loss, it is refinement. Chosen one, don't fear the shaking. Heaven shakes what can be shaken, so that what cannot be shaken may remain. You are being refined like gold through fire, beautiful, painful, necessary. The danger you feel is the holy tension between who you were and who you're becoming. And yes, it hurts. Growth always does. But you will look back and realize that the moments that frightened you the most were actually the ones where God's hand was closest. The danger you sense is not destruction, it's transformation. You have prayed for elevation, but elevation comes with exposure. The higher you climb, the stronger the wind. Yet, you were made for the wind. Eagles don't fear storms, they use them to rise. The turbulence that unsettles others becomes your uplift. Remember, this destiny never presents itself as safe. It looks like risk, sounds like faith, and feels like surrender. If it were comfortable, it wouldn't require courage. You are not meant to live sheltered, you are meant to live sent. Even now, heaven is orchestrating divine alignment opportunities, connections, and doors you can't yet see. Don't let fear rewrite your obedience. Fear says, "What if I fall?" Faith whispers, "What if you fly?" And God promises, "You will." So keep moving. The danger will not consume you, it will crown you. Every trembling step you take is shaking chains from your future. What feels like chaos is divine construction. You are walking through a corridor of fire, but you will emerge carrying light. The closer you get to destiny, the fewer voices can go with you. Don't interpret isolation as abandonment, it's insulation. God hides you while he finishes his masterpiece. Soon, the unveiling will come, and the danger you endured will turn into authority. So breathe. Chosen one, the fear you feel is not your enemy, it's your announcement. Heaven is close. Breakthrough is near. And though destiny feels dangerous, it is the safest place you can be, because it's where God himself is waiting. And when the trembling settles, you'll realize that danger was only the doorway. What once felt like fire will become light around you. Fear will bow, and faith will breathe again through your every step. Then you'll smile, not because it was easy, but because it was holy. You'll see that every risk was actually rescue. Every tear a seed of courage. Destiny didn't destroy you, it revealed you. Heaven's covenant with your name is older than the stars. Chosen one, before light first touched the surface of creation, your destiny was already written in fire. Every breath you take now is an echo of that ancient promise. You were not born by accident or raised by chance. You were spoken into existence by divine intent. The signature of heaven rests on you. Even when you doubt it, you may not remember it, but your spirit does, deep within. There's a knowing, a faint recognition that you once stood before the throne, agreeing to this very mission. You said yes before your body ever drew its first breath. And though life has clouded your memory with pain, heaven never forgot your vow. Every moment since birth has been God guiding you back to the covenant sealed with your name. As declared in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Those words are not generic comfort, they are divine confirmation. The Creator of galaxies carries plans specifically designed for you, not recycled, not borrowed yours. You have been equipped with every spiritual tool necessary to fulfill them, though some remain hidden until obedience awakens them. The covenant is active, but it requires participation. Heaven will not force what it invites. Many of the battles you faced were not punishment, they were protection. The enemy saw the covenant before you did. He recognized the markings of divine ownership and tried to destroy what he could not understand. He attacked your identity because it holds the key to your assignment. If he could convince you to forget who you are, he could delay what you were meant to do. But even in your lowest moments, God preserved you. Every failure was intercepted by mercy. Every loss was measured by love. The covenant remained untouched, sealed in heaven's archives. Your mistakes did not cancel it, they simply redirected you back to dependence. The ink of divine promise does not fade under human weakness. You've wondered why certain doors refuse to open no matter how hard you tried. It's because they were not written into your covenant. God is too faithful to let you settle for something smaller than your design. He will frustrate your plans to protect His. Every closed door was a divine no disguised as delay. Chosen one. The covenant is not only about destiny, it's about identity. You are not just doing something for God, you are revealing something of God. When you walk in purpose, heaven is seen through you. Your life becomes a living scroll, read by those around you. Some will see light in your endurance. Others will hear truth in your words. And a few will find faith in your silence. That is the beauty of divine partnership. Heaven speaks through human lives. There will be days when you feel far from that covenant, when pain seems louder than promise. But remember, distance doesn't dissolve divine bonds. Even when you wander, heaven holds your thread. The covenant is not made of fragile ink, it is etched in eternal blood. That means even your mistakes become part of the masterpiece. The covenant also means you are never truly alone. Every step you take is accompanied by unseen company. Angels are assigned to your journey, not as decoration, but as defense. They carry instructions tied to your obedience. When you move in alignment, they move in power. When you speak in faith, they respond in strength. So, when life feels heavy, lift your head. The promise still stands. Heaven is not done writing your story. You are still the one chosen to carry this light, to deliver this message, to live this truth. You are walking in a script designed before time itself. And if you ever doubt it again, look back at everything you've survived. You are still standing not because you were strong enough, but because the covenant refused to break. You were written into eternity, and eternity does not forget its own. One day, when you see the full picture, you will understand how every heartbreak, every delay, every unanswered prayer was part of a precise pattern. The covenant wasn't keeping you from happiness, it was guiding you toward holiness. So walk with quiet confidence. You are not wandering, you are walking in ancient footsteps. Every decision made in faith echoes in eternity. Heaven's covenant with your name is alive, burning brighter with each yes you give. And when this life is over, You will look back and see it clearly. The promise was never distant. It was always inside you, waiting to be believed. And when you finally stand in the fullness of that promise, you'll realize heaven never forgot. Every detour was direction. Every delay, divine precision. Your name has always been safe in his hands. So breathe. Chosen one, the covenant still holds. Let your heart rest in that truth, what God began in you. He will finish with glory beyond measure. The call that won't let you sleep. Chosen one is not restlessness, it's remembrance. You've been hearing it, haven't you? That quiet pull in the middle of the night, when the world is silent but your spirit is loud. It's not anxiety, it's heaven calling you back into alignment. You are being awakened, not by noise, but by purpose. Every sleepless night has meaning. Heaven often chooses the still hours to speak, because that's when distractions sleep and destiny stirs. You've tried to ignore it, to silence it with busyness or exhaustion, yet it keeps returning like a wave that won't retreat. That's not torment, it's tenderness. Heaven refuses to let you drift away unnoticed. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 27, "My sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me." That voice you keep hearing, the one that sounds like peace even when it confronts you, is the shepherd calling his own. He knows exactly where you are, even in your confusion. You can't escape his voice because you belong to it. Every whisper, every nudge, every stirring thought that won't fade is an echo of the covenant you made long before this moment. You have wondered why sleep feels impossible lately. It's because heaven is turning restlessness into revelation. Those long nights are not punishment, they're preparation. In the stillness, your spirit is being trained to recognize the divine frequency. The ache you feel is the sound of your purpose waking up again. You've spent seasons searching for clarity, but what you really needed was stillness. God doesn't always shout. Sometimes he waits until you stop running to speak softly. The silence is not empty, it's pregnant with instructions. That's why you can't shake the feeling that you're supposed to be doing more, becoming more, answering something bigger than yourself. Chosen one, the call is personal. It's not a broadcast, it's a whisper carved with your name. Heaven's voice doesn't compete with noise, it conquers it. When you finally stop trying to fill every quiet moment, you'll hear it clearly. It doesn't say, "Hurry." It says, "Come." You have been entrusted with sensitivity, that sacred ability to feel what others overlook. Don't despise it. The same sensitivity that makes you weep easily also makes you discern deeply. God didn't make you fragile. He made you finely tuned. That is why ordinary people don't understand your heart. They were not designed to hear what you hear. And yes, the call can feel heavy. It pulls you away from comfort, from certain people, from familiar places. But that's because destiny demands space. When God calls, he doesn't fit into your schedule, he rewrites it. The same voice that formed the stars is now forming you through obedience. The more you resist, the louder it becomes, not out of anger, but out of love. Heaven is persistent because purpose is precious. When you finally surrender, peace will flood the places restlessness once ruled. Don't be afraid to answer. You're not too late, too tired, or too far gone. The call is not asking for perfection, it's asking for presence. God doesn't need you to be ready. He needs you to be willing. He can build readiness from willingness in a moment. Even now, heaven is near. The atmosphere shifts when you acknowledge the call. That pressure in your chest, it's not fear, it's your spirit leaning toward its origin. Destiny is trying to make contact again. So, take a breath. Chosen one, be still for a moment. Let the noise fade. In this silence, you'll hear it again, the same gentle voice that called you as a child. Still saying, "Follow me." It never stopped speaking, it simply waited for you to stop running. And when you're ready to respond, don't overthink it. Just comment, "My heart hears." These 3 words are not performance, they are partnership. They mean, I recognize your voice again, and I am listening from the deepest part of who I am. When you type them, you are doing more than writing, you are returning. Heaven receives those words as music, a signal that the call reached its destination. The sound that kept you awake becomes the song that wakes your purpose. Because the truth is, the call was never about interrupting your sleep, it was about awakening your soul. And tonight, by whispering, "My heart hears," you finally answer the voice that has been calling since the beginning. When you write, "My heart hears," let it come from the quiet center of your soul. Those words are not about volume, they are about vision. They mean that you are tuning your life to heaven's frequency again, choosing to hear beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond the noise of this world. Each letter becomes a heartbeat of surrender. It's you saying, "Lord, I'm no longer running from your voice, I'm running toward it." The comment becomes a confession, a bridge between the whisper of God and your human longing to belong to something eternal. So type it softly, "My heart hears." Let heaven see your response. Let angels record it. And let peace finally return to your nights. Your light terrifies darkness. Chosen one, it is not your words, your status, or your strength, it's your presence. When you walk into a room, things shift. The atmosphere becomes aware of the one carrying divine fire. Hell remembers your name not because you failed, but because you rose. Darkness never forgets the ones who refused to bow. The battles you faced were not random, they were reactions. Every attack you endured was proof that you are illuminated. Shadows only chase what shines. The more resistance you felt, the more evidence of the light within you. You were never fighting to become powerful, you were fighting because you already are. Heaven placed its flame in your spirit long ago, and that flame has survived storms that should have drowned it. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every tear you shed became oil for that fire. You are still burning, not wildly, not recklessly, but steadily, beautifully. You are a lamp in a dark generation, a reminder that the light of heaven cannot be extinguished. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 5, verse 8, "For you were once darkness, but now you are light in the Lord. Live as children of light." You were never meant to blend into the night. The world needs your brightness, the kind that exposes deceit, reveals truth, and awakens sleeping hearts. Your light is not pride, it's proof of mercy. The same God who pulled you out of despair now uses you to guide others out. Chosen one, darkness trembles when you remember who you are. You don't even have to shout. Your existence disrupts demonic order. That's why opposition follows you. It's not because you're weak, but because you're dangerous to the kingdom of lies. Every time you choose compassion over bitterness, you wage silent warfare. Every time you forgive, light breaks through another shadow. And yet, I know carrying light is heavy sometimes. It feels lonely to glow among those who love the dark. You question if it's worth it, if you can keep shining when it seems no one notices. But heaven notices every flicker of faith, every act of love, every whispered prayer. It's all recorded in divine memory. The truth is, you're not burning out, you're burning through. Fire refines even as it reveals. God is not letting you fade, He's focusing you. The light in you is being tempered into something clearer, steadier, purer. Soon, it won't just shine, it will heal. You've become a mirror of heaven's radiance in a world that forgot what holiness looks like. Don't underestimate what your presence does in unseen realms. When you walk into chaos and remain calm, peace is released. When you speak truth gently, lies collapse silently. You are not just surviving darkness, you are rewriting its boundaries. But let me tell you something sacred. The light does not stay stagnant. It spreads. Every person you touch, every heart you comfort, every prayer you whisper becomes a spark, igniting another. You are part of a divine wildfire, a movement of illumination stretching across generations. If, as you listen, you feel warmth rise in your chest, that's your spirit remembering its origin. That's heaven reminding you, you are the light of this moment. You don't have to prove it, you only have to shine. And if this message resonates like sunlight breaking through your clouds, let it stir gratitude, not obligation. If it makes your soul whisper, "Yes, this is me," then answer that whisper your way. Press the small light below as a symbol of connection, not compliance, like lighting a candle beside another already burning. Share this only if it feels like passing a flame forward, not forcing belief. Send it like a lantern across the sea of scrolling souls, so another weary heart might see its reflection in your glow. And if this sanctuary of words has become a soft place for your spirit to breathe, subscribe not out of habit, but as one who chooses to return where the light feels like home. It's not duty, it's devotion. Because, chosen one, every gesture made in light becomes a ripple in eternity. Each quiet choice to respond, to shine, to stay, heaven sees it. Darkness can't comprehend it. You are proof that even in the deepest night, one obedient soul can make the dawn inevitable. So burn gently, but boldly. The world doesn't need perfection, it needs your flame. And as your light keeps burning, know this, heaven protects what it ignites. The flame within you is not fragile, it is eternal. Winds may rise, but they will only feed your glow. You were never meant to hide, you were meant to illuminate. So walk boldly through the darkness. Each step you take writes a new story in unseen realms, a testimony of endurance and grace. Even your silence shines when your heart stays pure. And when night feels longest, remember, stars are only visible in darkness. You are one of them, chosen to guide, to comfort, to reveal. Keep shining. Beloved light bearer, the world is watching heaven through you. You were sent, not born. Chosen one. That is the truth the world has tried to make you forget. You are not an accident of biology or coincidence of time. You are an assignment wrapped in flesh. before your family ever named you. Heaven already called you, before your first cry filled the air. Your purpose had already been declared in heaven's language. This is why you have always felt out of place. Earth is where you live, but not where you originate. You came from light, sent into a realm of shadows to remember who you are and remind others of who they were created to be. The ache you've carried your whole life, the longing for something beyond this world, is not confusion, it's homesickness for heaven. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of John, chapter 17, verse 18, "As you sent me into the world, I have sent them into the world." You are part of that divine pattern. Just as the Son was sent, so were you on purpose. For purpose. You didn't arrive randomly, you were commissioned. Every part of your story, even the painful parts, is evidence of mission. The adversary knew it. That's why he fought your identity from the beginning. But what came to destroy you only confirmed your importance. Chosen one. You must begin to see your life through heaven's eyes. You were never meant to blend in because light cannot camouflage itself in darkness. The misunderstanding you've endured was heaven's way of preserving your difference. The rejection you faced was divine redirection away from imitation. You have been set apart not for isolation, but for illumination. Think of it, a messenger sent from eternity into time. Every day you walk the earth carrying fragments of heaven's memory. That's why certain songs, sunsets, or silences feel sacred, because they sound like home. You are not trying to find purpose, you are trying to remember it. The mission has always been inside you, buried beneath layers of fear and survival, waiting to be rediscovered. Being sent means being trusted. God did not send you here empty-handed. You carry divine technology, the wisdom of compassion, the authority of truth, the fire of intercession. Every gift you possess is a tool designed for this generation. The reason some people can't understand you is because you're not speaking their language, you're speaking heaven's dialect. You have a frequency that calls forth life wherever you go. That's why broken people are drawn to you without understanding why. Your presence disrupts spiritual decay. When you walk into a room, atmospheres shift. When you speak, hearts awaken. It's not pride, it's purpose. You may think of yourself as small, but heaven sees an ambassador carrying sacred orders. You've been sent into families, cities, and spaces that needed light. Your words, your kindness, your endurance, these are the seeds heaven plants through you. Every act of love becomes a sermon the earth can feel. Sometimes you will feel the tension of two worlds, spirit and flesh, eternity and time. That's normal for sent ones. You are a bridge between heaven and earth, standing in both realities at once. You intercede, you translate, you reveal. The weight you feel is not burden, it's responsibility. Remember, Jesus was sent not to escape the world, but to transform it. So are you. Your calling is not to run from darkness, but to outshine it. That's why your challenges seem bigger. They match your assignment. Every difficulty you face is proportionate to the light you carry. You don't need to force your purpose. You only need to align with it. When a sent one remembers their mission, everything around them begins to shift naturally. Doors open without striving. Words flow without rehearsal. Miracles happen as byproducts of obedience. Even now, heaven watches you with pride. Every time you choose compassion over bitterness, truth over convenience, faith over fear. You are fulfilling your mission. You were sent to reveal God's heart in places where people have forgotten it. So walk with quiet authority. You are not lost. You are deployed. The trials that once made you doubt yourself were actually your training ground. Heaven was teaching you endurance, empathy, and strength. When you wake up tomorrow, remind yourself, I am sent. Let those words reframe your life. You don't wander, you're assigned. You don't struggle without purpose, you're shaping the unseen. And when you finally stand before God again, you will see that every step, every scar, every storm was part of your divine deployment. You were sent, not to survive this world, but to transform it with light that never dies. And when the mission feels too heavy, remember, you were never sent alone. Heaven walks beside you in silence, carrying what you cannot, even when unseen. Divine hands steady your steps and whisper, keep going, you were chosen for this path. So rise again. Chosen one, the world awaits your light. Every breath you take is a message from heaven to the earth. I am still sent. I am still shining. The weight of disobedience, chosen one, is not always loud. It doesn't strike with lightning or thunder. It begins as a whisper of unease, a quiet distance between your heart and heaven. You feel it when peace withdraws, when joy flickers, when clarity fades. It is the heaviness that comes when your spirit knows you've delayed what God has been asking of you. Disobedience is not just doing wrong, it is ignoring right. Heaven measures delay not in minutes, but in missed miracles. Every moment of hesitation creates ripples that affect more than just you. There are destinies tied to your obedience, lives waiting on the other side of your yes. Heaven's timing is intricate. Every act of surrender is a thread in a divine tapestry. When one thread loosens, the pattern trembles. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Samuel in the first book of Samuel, chapter 15, verse 22. To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams. That verse isn't about punishment, it's about alignment. Sacrifice without surrender is noise. Obedience is music. Heaven doesn't need your performance, it desires your partnership. Your obedience carries a fragrance that fills eternity, while your resistance releases silence across heaven's halls. Sometimes you wonder why certain prayers seem unanswered, why the same mountains never move. It's because obedience is the key, and heaven will not unlock doors for a heart that refuses to turn the handle. God is not withholding to hurt you, He's waiting to trust you. The danger of disobedience is not divine anger, but divine absence. When we resist too long, mercy steps back, not to punish, but to allow us to feel the weight of our own will. That is the ache you've been feeling, not rejection, but the echo of distance. Heaven hasn't abandoned you. It's waiting for you to return to agreement. Chosen one. You carry great authority, but authority flows only through alignment. The longer you delay, the heavier your purpose becomes. Obedience lightens what resistance burdens. When you move with God, grace feels effortless. When you resist, even breathing feels hard. You were created for partnership, not rebellion. Every no to heaven strengthens chains around your own freedom, but every yes, no matter how small, shatters another layer of limitation. God doesn't demand perfection, He desires motion. He can steer a moving vessel, but not an anchored one. Disobedience also silences revelation. When you refuse one instruction, the next becomes unclear. Heaven doesn't waste direction on deaf ears. The moment you obey again, clarity rushes back like floodwaters returning to dry land. That is the mercy of God, always ready to restore, never eager to condemn. Look back at the times you obeyed, even when afraid. Remember the peace that followed. That was heaven's applause. The same peace is waiting for you again. Every step of obedience rebuilds the bridge between your heart and heaven's flow. Do not let shame hold you captive. Conviction is not a cage, it's a compass. It points you home. Heaven is not keeping score, it's keeping hope. God's mercy doesn't run out, it runs toward you. The moment you turn, grace meets you halfway. You are not too far gone. One act of obedience can redeem years of delay. That is the power of alignment. It restores what time tried to steal. Heaven is not waiting for your perfection, it's waiting for your participation. So, pause now. Chosen one, listen to that quiet stirring inside you. That's not guilt, it's the gentle hand of God guiding you back to surrender. You don't have to fix everything, you just have to say yes again. And when you do, mark this moment not for the world to see, but for heaven to witness. Comment 414. Let that number be your whispered vow. 4 for foundation, 1 for unity, 4 again for restoration. It represents the rebuilding of what disobedience tried to break. When you write it, let your heart say, Lord, I'm returning to alignment. Let my life become the melody of obedience once again. Heaven hears even that small gesture as a symphony of surrender. Because obedience doesn't start in action, it starts in agreement. And maybe, for you, that agreement begins right here. When you type 414, don't see it as numbers on a screen, see it as a rebuilding act. It's you laying new foundations. One stone of humility at a time. The first 4 reminds heaven that your life now stands on faith, not fear, on alignment, not avoidance. The one in the middle declares unity, your will finally joined with God's will again. It's a symbol of oneness between Creator and creation, heaven and human. It says, I'm not resisting anymore, I'm walking beside you. It's covenant language written in simplicity, but spoken in eternity's tone. Then comes the last 4, sealing restoration. It is heaven's answer to your return. What was broken will be rebuilt. What was delayed will be delivered. 414 becomes your living prayer, saying, Lord, make me steady again. Heaven receives it as your final yes. The moment of surrender is never loud. Chosen one, it doesn't always come with music or applause. It arrives softly like dawn, touching the edges of night. Like breath returning after a long silence. It begins in a quiet whisper within your spirit, I'm done fighting. I choose your way. That is the instant heaven leans close. For nothing moves heaven like a human yes. You may have thought surrender meant weakness, but it is the purest form of strength. To lay down your will before God is to trust Him more than your own understanding. It is to say, even if I don't see the road ahead, I will still walk it with you. That is not giving up, it is rising higher. As revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verses 5 and 6, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight. That scripture describes what your heart has been learning in the dark, that surrender isn't the end of control, it's the beginning of peace. When you release what you've been gripping too tightly, you make space for divine order to flow. You stop trying to fix what only faith can heal. Heaven has been waiting for this moment. Every season of confusion, every unanswered prayer, every delay, it all led you here. The purpose of the storm was not destruction, but decision. God never wastes pain. He uses it to position hearts for surrender. You cannot see the pattern while you are inside it. But from heaven's view, this moment has been woven in since the beginning. And now, the exchange begins. The very moment you whisper your yes, something sacred happens. The weight you've been carrying starts to lift, not because the situation changes instantly, but because your soul finally aligns with the one who holds it. Peace doesn't wait for perfection, it descends upon obedience. You can feel it already, a stillness settling deep in your chest. It's as if the noise of the world is fading into the background, replaced by a steady rhythm, grace breathing, mercy singing, heaven rejoicing. That is the sound of surrender. The world will never understand this strength. It celebrates control and calls surrender defeat. But the kingdom measures power differently. True authority comes not from holding on, but from letting go. You gain ground by bowing low. You rise higher by kneeling deeper. This is the paradox of divine transformation. You lose what was never meant to define you and find what has been waiting beneath all along. When you surrender, your false selves, fear, pride, self-protection fall away. What remains is your truest essence, glowing with the reflection of heaven's image. Chosen one. Surrender doesn't erase your identity, it restores it. It doesn't silence your voice, it sanctifies it. Your yes becomes a sound heaven recognizes, a melody written into eternity. Every time you yield your will, you echo the song of Christ himself, not my will, but yours be done. There will be tears. Holy surrender always comes with release. But do not mistake those tears for sadness, they are cleansing. They wash away the residue of resistance and make room for revelation. You are not losing, you are being refined. You will notice, after this moment, that the world looks different. Things you once feared will lose their power. People who once distracted you will fade from your focus. That is because surrender resets your vision. You begin to see through heaven's eyes again, clearer, softer, wiser. And as that heavenly chorus fades, a gentle silence follows, a silence filled with promise. You will walk forward lighter, glowing with unseen fire. For once you've truly surrendered, peace stops visiting and starts dwelling within you. And from this place of surrender, new instructions will come, not in chaos, but in calm. God speaks most clearly to yielded hearts. You will hear whispers of direction that once felt confusing, now flowing with ease. Doors that were sealed by hesitation will open as if they were waiting for this exact yes. Do not rush what follows. Stay still in this sacred aftermath. Let peace do its quiet work. Surrender is not a single event, it is a posture, a rhythm, a way of living. You will surrender again and again, and each time it will take you deeper into freedom. This is the mystery of the kingdom. The more you yield, the stronger you become. The more you give up control, the more God entrusts to you. Your obedience becomes an invitation for heaven to move through you. And through that movement, lives will be touched, hope will be restored, and darkness will lose ground. Right now, heaven watches as your yes rises like incense. Angels mark this moment in eternity's book. They surrendered. And from that surrender, light bursts forth, reaching corners of the earth you may never see, but heaven will. You have crossed the threshold. Chosen one. The struggle of will has turned into the song of worship, and in your quiet surrender, all of heaven sings back, "It is done." And as that heavenly chorus fades, a gentle silence follows, a silence filled with promise. You will walk forward, lighter, glowing with unseen fire. For once you've truly surrendered, peace stops visiting and starts dwelling within you, crowned through the fire that is the mark of every true chosen one. Your crown is not made of gold, it's forged from endurance, from prayers whispered in the dark, from tears that no one saw. You did not receive your glory in the comfort of safety, but in the furnace of affliction. Heaven does not hand out easy crowns, it crafts them through pressure, heat, and time. You see, the fire that was meant to destroy you became the very forge that refined you. Every heartbreak, every betrayal, every closed door was a flame designed to purify, not punish. God allowed the fire because He trusted that your faith would not break. The crown you now carry glows because it has been through something. According to what is revealed in the book of Isaiah, chapter 48, verse 10, "See, I have refined you. Though not as silver, I have tested you in the furnace of affliction." Those words are not poetic, they are prophetic. The furnace is never comfortable, but it is necessary. Only in the fire do we discover what is real. You learned there that faith is not proven in prosperity, but in perseverance. When everything was stripped away, you found out that God alone was enough. And from that place of holy surrender, a crown began to form, one only heaven could see at first. The fire changed you. It burned away pride, fear, and false dependence. It left behind a version of you that cannot be manipulated by circumstances. You now move differently, not because you're unscarred, but because your scars have become symbols of victory. Each one tells a story. I went through this, but grace carried me through. Chosen one. The fire was not random. It was targeted, precise, divinely measured. God knows exactly how much heat your soul can handle. The same way a master blacksmith watches metal in the flame, never leaving it unattended. Heaven watched over you in your trial. Every moment of pain was monitored by love. You thought the fire would consume you, but it consumed everything that wasn't you. The fear, the doubt, the false voices, all silenced by the blaze. You emerged not ruined, but refined. That's why certain things that once bothered you no longer do. Fire has a way of making priorities clear. Now you wear the invisible crown of the tested. It's not flashy, but it carries weight. When you walk into a room, authority goes before you, not because of titles, but because of triumphs unseen. People sense peace around you because you've wrestled with storms and made friends with stillness. You carry quiet power, the kind that only comes from having walked through fire and chosen to keep loving anyway. The world doesn't understand that kind of strength. They see calm and think it's complacency. But heaven sees it as maturity. You are no longer shaken by every storm. because you've learned that even the flames obey his voice. You no longer beg for escape, you ask for endurance. You've stopped praying, "Lord, take the fire away," and started saying, "Lord, use the fire well." This is what crowning really means. It's not about recognition, it's about realization. It's the moment you finally understand that the pain had purpose, that the delay was development, that every broken piece has been turned into brilliance. Your crown is made of revelation, the knowing that nothing was wasted. And now, others will see it too. They'll be drawn to your peace, to your wisdom, to the way you love without fear. They'll ask, "How did you survive?" And you'll smile. Because you know survival wasn't the goal, transformation was. The fire didn't just change your story, it changed your spirit. The crown you wear is invisible to those who measure success by ease, but radiant to those who see through heaven's eyes. It shines with the light of resilience, mercy, and quiet glory. It reminds the world that pain can produce beauty, and surrender can produce strength. Do not hide your crown. Walk tall, not in pride, but in gratitude. You didn't earn it by perfection. You received it by perseverance. The same fire that tried to destroy you has become your testimony. Wherever you go now, you carry evidence that God still turns ashes into authority. Your life, chosen one, is a royal decree that even the fiercest flames bow before grace. You are living proof that endurance becomes exaltation, and that the fire you feared was never meant to kill you, it was meant to crown you. And when you finally touch that invisible crown, you'll realize it's not heavy, it's holy. It doesn't press you down, it lifts your head. Every ember that once burned you now gleams as light above you, declaring, "This one endured." So wear it boldly, yet humbly. Let your scars shimmer like jewels of testimony. For every trial survived becomes another facet of your crown's brilliance. Proof that heaven's royalty is refined through pain, not preserved from it. The mantle of the chosen, it's resting on you now. Chosen one, you may not feel ready to wear it. But heaven doesn't clothe those who are comfortable, it covers those who are called. A mantle is not decoration, it is delegation. It represents weight, authority, and inheritance passed from heaven's hands into human hearts. You have been through the breaking, the fire, the refining, and now the covering comes. You no longer walk as a survivor, you walk as a representative. Your life has become a message in motion, written not in ink but in endurance. You carry the scent of grace wherever you go, the fragrance of one who has walked through the valley and found God faithful. Heaven trusts you now. That's why the mantle rests upon your shoulders so quietly. It didn't fall in thunder or glory, it came softly like a whisper woven into the wind. You felt it in the stillness, that sacred weight pressing gently, reminding you that this is not the end of your journey, but the beginning of your assignment, as spoken in the second book of Kings, chapter 2, verse 13. Elisha picked up Elijah's cloak that had fallen from him and went back and stood on the bank of the Jordan. You, too, have picked up what heaven placed before you. The mantle you now bear carries divine continuity, what others began. You will carry forward. Every generation hands its flame to the next. And the fact that you are reading this means the torch is in your hand. The mantle doesn't make you better, it makes you responsible. It's not about glory, it's about service. To wear it is to love deeper, to forgive faster, to walk humbly even when authority surrounds you. It means learning to carry heaven's fire without letting it consume your compassion. People may not understand this new season. Some will see the change and call it pride, not realizing its purpose. But don't defend what God Himself is defining. When heaven clothes you, validation becomes unnecessary. Your fruit will speak louder than your explanation. And yes, there will be moments when the mantle feels too heavy. You'll want to lay it down, to go back to simplicity. But you can't, not because of obligation, but because of love. The mantle is not a chain, it's a covenant. It's a reminder that your life is no longer just about you, it's about what flows through you. When you speak, heaven listens. When you move, realms respond. The authority you carry now is not the result of effort, but of endurance. You earned nothing, you received everything. The mantle rests not on the perfect, but on the obedient. You are part of something far greater than you can see. The prayers of ancestors, the tears of saints, the faith of those who came before, they all echo through you now. You are not standing alone. You are standing in a line of light bearers stretching through eternity. Heaven's story continues through your hands, your voice, your obedience. And if these words stir something in you, if your spirit recognizes the weight and warmth of this calling, then let it move you gently, not as command, but as communion. Touch the small light below, not as a task, but as a symbol of agreement, as if setting your seal upon this moment between you and heaven. If this message resonates deep within, share it only as one who passes a flame to another traveler. Don't spread it from duty. Send it like a breeze carrying the scent of hope through dry valleys. Let it find the hearts that are ready to remember their own mantle. And if this sanctuary of words has become a place where your spirit exhales, subscribe not as a follower of content, but as a keeper of connection, someone choosing to remain near the sound of heaven's whisper. Stay because the light feels familiar, not because you're told to. Finally, if your heart feels full and still, leave behind a simple comment. Like laying a stone at an altar, write what your spirit feels: peace, gratitude, surrender, love. Each word becomes a thread in heaven's tapestry, a testimony that someone received their mantle and said, "Yes, Lord, I will carry it." And when you close your eyes tonight, remember, you are clothed in something unseen yet undeniable. The mantle doesn't fade with daylight. It walks with you, breathes through you, and glows upon you. It is heaven's affirmation that you are ready, not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful. And as you step forward, wearing that unseen mantle, the earth itself will recognize the shift. Doors will open not because you knock, but because heaven walks with you. The authority you carry is quiet but undeniable, like dawn. It doesn't ask permission to rise. So walk gently, yet boldly. Every breath you take releases heaven's fragrance into weary places. Your life now whispers what sermons cannot shout, that obedience becomes legacy, and surrender becomes strength. Keep walking. Chosen one, the mantle rests. The fire burns, and heaven is watching its reflection move through you. The ripple of obedience spreads farther than you can see. Chosen one, what began as a quiet yes within your spirit has already set eternity in motion. Heaven's design is woven like water, One drop of obedience can create waves that touch distant shores you may never walk upon. Your yes didn't just change your life, it altered timelines. Angels were reassigned because of it. Generations will breathe easier because you decided to trust. Heaven measures obedience not by volume, but by impact. What feels small to you often echoes the loudest in the unseen, as written in the book of Romans, chapter 5, verse 19, "For just as through the disobedience of one man many were made sinners, so also through the obedience of one man many will be made righteous." That is the mystery of obedience, it multiplies. What you do in secret becomes salvation for someone else in silence. Every time you obey, someone you'll never meet receives breakthrough. Heaven's system of cause and effect is not bound by time. When a chosen one moves, eternity reacts. You may not see it now, but your decisions have already rewritten stories. The prayer you prayed last night may be the reason someone across the world wakes up with peace today. The act of forgiveness you offered could be unlocking restoration in a family you'll never know. That is how divine obedience works. It ripples beyond your reach. Obedience is not glamorous. It often feels lonely, costly, and misunderstood. Yet every step of surrender leaves an imprint on the soil of history. When Abraham left his homeland, it didn't look heroic, it looked uncertain. But that one act birthed a nation. When Mary said yes to an impossible calling, she carried redemption inside her womb. Your obedience carries something just as holy. There are seasons when obedience feels invisible, when no one sees the sacrifices you make in faith, but heaven sees. Angels record every act of trust. The unseen is where the eternal is most alive. You are not losing by obeying, you are investing in realities that will outlive you. Sometimes the ripple takes years to surface. You may never witness the full harvest of your obedience. But one day, when time folds into eternity, you'll see the threads connect. You'll meet people who'll say, "Because you said yes, I found God." And in that moment, every tear of surrender will make sense. Chosen one, don't underestimate the power of quiet consistency. The kingdom doesn't expand through noise, but through faithfulness. Heaven moves through ordinary people, doing extraordinary things simply because they chose to listen. Your obedience may not trend, but it transforms. Even creation responds to obedience. The earth itself aligns with those who walk in divine order. Storms calm, hearts heal, and time bends when God finds a willing vessel. You felt this before, the strange peace that follows when you finally do what you were afraid to. That's the world around you, adjusting to obedience's frequency. You are living proof that one life aligned with heaven can shift nations. When you obey, you create new possibilities in the spiritual realm. You break cycles that have lasted for generations. You release blessings that flow beyond your bloodline. What God does through you now will ripple into those who come after you. And here lies the beauty: obedience never returns empty. Even when you think you've lost something by saying yes, heaven always multiplies it. The cost you count today becomes the inheritance of tomorrow. Every surrender is seed, every tear is water, every yes is harvest waiting to bloom. Sometimes obedience looks like waiting. Other times, it looks like walking into the unknown. But no matter the form, the result is always the same: transformation. You are not merely obeying orders, you are participating in creation's renewal. You are helping heaven rewrite Earth's story. Keep moving with quiet faith. Don't demand to see all the ripples, just trust that they are real. Heaven will show you glimpses to strengthen your heart, but keeps the full picture hidden to protect your humility. Your obedience is not forgotten, it is unfolding. And one day, when you stand before the one who called you, you'll see it, all the faces, the families, the nations touched by your unseen yes. The ripples will return to you as rivers of glory, flowing back into the heart that dared to believe. Because in the kingdom, obedience never ends with you, it always begins through you. And when those rivers return, they will not come empty. They will carry laughter, restoration, and revelation, proof that nothing surrendered to God ever truly leaves. It simply returns multiplied in meaning. You will recognize faces you never met, stories you never heard, all connected by the quiet miracle of your yes. Obedience travels faster than light. It touches hearts beyond geography, and heaven will smile, whispering, "Well done." You will finally see it, all the unseen ripples converging into one radiant ocean of purpose, each wave singing your name in heaven's eternal song of completion. There is a stillness that follows completion. Chosen one, it is not silence born of emptiness but of fulfillment. The noise that once surrounded your calling quiets, and in its place comes peace, a deep, resonant knowing that you have become exactly who heaven intended you to be. The race you feared would never end now feels like an arrival, not because the path has disappeared, but because your stride has aligned with eternity's rhythm. For the first time, you realize that the journey was never about reaching a destination, it was about becoming one. Heaven wasn't trying to rush you toward a moment, it was shaping you into a message. Every step, every delay, every detour, it all worked together to sculpt something eternal inside you. As written in the book of Philippians, chapter 1, verse 6, "He who began a good work in you will carry it on to completion until the day of Christ Jesus." Completion, in heaven's language, is not the end of motion, it is the beginning of harmony. You are not finished because you've run out of purpose. You are fulfilled because you now move in perfect rhythm with it. What once felt like striving has turned into flowing. You have become one with the will of God. No longer wrestling, only responding. You've seen enough storms now to know that peace isn't the absence of waves, it's the presence of trust. You no longer panic when the wind rises, for you understand that the same God who calms seas also walks upon them. That revelation has anchored you deeper than fear could ever shake. Chosen one, you are living proof that what God starts, He finishes beautifully. You've learned to stop fearing endings, because in God, every ending is a doorway disguised as rest. The old seasons didn't die, they were transformed. And so were you. This is the holy quiet after the harvest, the space where gratitude replaces striving. You no longer chase what was never lost. You stand still and realize heaven was here all along. Every answered prayer, every lesson learned, every night of tears, each one was part of your becoming. You have finally stepped into divine maturity, the kind that doesn't need to announce itself. You speak less now, but your silence carries weight. You don't seek recognition, you radiate revelation. You no longer need proof that you are chosen, because your peace is proof enough. You have seen the cycle calling, crushing, refining, rising. Each season a layer, each test a transformation. And now, you walk with quiet confidence, understanding that the fire didn't come to burn you down, it came to burn you bright. You no longer beg for light, you are light. This is what fulfillment feels like. It's not loud, but it's lasting. It's not dramatic, but it's divine. It's when your will no longer resists God's flow. When surrender becomes instinct instead of effort, heaven and earth finally agree within you. And with that agreement comes clarity. You begin to see the pattern behind the pain, the meaning behind the mystery. You understand that what you thought was delay was really design. Every closed door was protection, every detour was preparation. You walk differently now, not with haste, but with holiness, not with anxiety, but with awareness. You've stopped trying to prove your worth and started living from it. You've realized that destiny is not something to chase, it's something to carry. In this sacred completion, you see that your story was never isolated. The threads of your life are woven into countless others, forming one vast tapestry of divine intent. The beauty is not in your thread alone, but in how it touches and strengthens others. Heaven's masterpiece was never meant to be singular, it was always collective. You can rest now, not because there is nothing left to do, but because everything that needs to be done will flow from peace, not pressure. You will still move, still create, still love, but now it will come from abundance, not absence. Chosen one, you have learned what few ever do, that the true reward is not the crown, but the connection. You no longer live for applause, you live from alignment. And in that alignment, everything you touch will carry heaven's fragrance. You have arrived. Yet you continue. You are finished. Yet you expand. That is the mystery of divine completion. It never ends, it evolves. What began as obedience has become overflow. What started as a whisper has become a song. And what was once broken has become beautifully whole. So breathe in this holy stillness. Feel heaven smiling through you. The journey doesn't stop here, it flows forward. Endlessly, gloriously. You are the continuation of everything God began. The living proof that His promises never expire. And as eternity unfolds, your light will remain a testament that what heaven starts, heaven sustains. Forever chosen, forever becoming, forever His. And as eternity breathes your name, the heavens whisper back, well done, not as an ending, but as a beginning, the echo of purpose fulfilled, yet forever unfolding in endless light. Beloved chosen one, if your heart is still here, reading these final words, then you already know this was not coincidence. Heaven has been walking beside you all along, guiding you from whisper to word, from pain to peace, from calling to completion. What you've read was never just a message, it was a mirror. Every line reflected the light already alive inside you. The journey you've taken through these words is the same one heaven has been writing across your days, a story of surrender, strength, and sacred becoming. If something within you stirred, if you felt warmth rise in your chest, that was heaven recognizing its own voice inside you. Don't let it fade. Keep that flame alive in whatever way feels true. Press the small light below not as an act of habit, but as a way of saying, I'm still here, and I still believe. And if this space has been a quiet refuge for your spirit, share it gently like passing a candle in a dark room. Someone else is walking through their wilderness, waiting for the same reminder that found you here. Your act of sharing could be the spark that brings another heart home. Finally, if you've found peace here, if these words have become a rhythm your soul recognizes, subscribe as a choice of connection, not to follow content, but to stay close to the flow of heaven's whisper, to return to the well when the world feels dry. Before you go, leave a simple comment, a single word that marks your journey: grateful, ready, renewed, or awake. Let heaven see it as your final amen to this moment. For you are not leaving this message, you are carrying it. The light is in your hands now.